Good day, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, I want to talk about ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, I want to talk about ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, I want to talk about today's video. I want to talk about today's video. I want to talk about today's video. I want to talk All right, folks, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for waiting, folks. I've just been getting situated on my end. It seems like I've been cutting out a little bit. If you guys want to let me know if you guys can indeed hear me okay, that would be great. Just give me some confirmation in the comments if you guys can see me, and that would be fantastic. So, big news story today. If you guys, as you guys can tell from the title of this video, I like to be a little bit I like to lean into the clickbaity nature of thumbnails and titles. That's why I find it funny to be clickbaity as fuck. No, I'm gonna try not to swear so much moving forward because it does offend some people, and it also affects monetization. So folks, if you're offended by swearing, you have to forgive me. I'm very used to speaking big news, to speaking my mind. And okay, perfect. You guys can hear me. Awesome. Welcome, Boof on the beat, Buff on the beat. Welcome, Alex P. What is up? I hope you guys aren't offended by swears. Anyways, moving on, folks. We got actual important stuff to discuss today. Messin. So, folks, Messin will not be joining us, unfortunately, in this live stream. Pretty serious bit of news. So, it actually turns out, and I'm being totally serious right now, Messin, we both are on this channel. He's actually been hospitalized due to a lack of hydration. And I've been trying to tell Messin for the longest time. Um, I've been trying to stress the importance of hydration, and he just doesn't seem to really understand. He just can't seem to be as hydrated as he needs to, and so unfortunately, Messin is being treated for dehydration. Let's all send him, thoughts and prayers, when he gets back. If you guys want to, let him know, your thoughts and prayers. That would be, I'm sure that would really cheer him up. And at a time when he's suffering from dehydration, it's really important to keep your spirits up. So why don't we all stay very hydrated, because we don't want to end up like Messin, all dehydrated in a hospital. So, folks, welcome to today's live stream. There's plenty to discuss. Big news, as I previously stated. All right, we have EIP 1559 quickly approaching for Ethereum. Folks, this is something we've been talking about for a while on this channel, and it's greenlit for this month. This is big news. EIP 1559, for those who don't know, stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposal, and there will be a few Ethereum improvement proposals with the London hard fork. That's the name of this event. And why this is significant is because one of the major improvements is Ethereum will become deflationary after this. This is a very, very big deal. Ethereum will soon become harder money. And folks, looking at the price action, Ethereum is looking super, super interesting, because we're testing what I believe to be the EMA to call short-term price action for Ethereum, at least in my opinion, one of the most price reactive relevant EMAs to look out for the short term, the 21 exponential moving average on the daily. So Ethereum, what has it done right now? It broke below support levels, but the bulls took over, and now we're breaking above resistance, and right now we're having a pullback to see if we can solidify previous resistance and hold as support. So for the next 46 minutes, if Ethereum can manage to hold the line and hold above $2,090, then in that case, Ethereum is looking a lot more healthy, and we would have solidified a short-term support level and solidified as support. So it's a very, very good sign. They're in fact good signs all around. Even Bitcoin is looking a little bit healthy, folks. Bitcoin is managing to hold the line above 33,300, critical zone. Again, daily candle closing in 45 minutes. Super good to see. So Ethereum's holding up okay. Bitcoin's holding up okay. Not only that, the DXY, the dollar index, is finding rejection off resistance. This is all around a very good sign. If we can see continuation through the weekend up until Monday, then come Monday, I think the bulls have a very good fighting chance of taking over and maybe having a bit of an impulse come Monday. So because we're seeing a bit of strength, we're retesting previous resistance, solidifying our support. And yeah, we got 45 minutes left for the daily candle to close, but we are currently holding support. Bitcoin is holding 33,300. Ethereum is holding the 21 EMA on the 6 hour. These are both critical support levels that we need to maintain, and we're going to get that daily close in 45 minutes, just under, and we're likely to maintain these levels. So because of this, I have been adding to my paper portfolio. So folks, we've been building a paper portfolio from scratch. Me and Messi, we both have $5,000 and we're both going to be building a paper portfolio for the long term. And it's kind of a fun competition between me and Messin to see who's that portfolio can outperform who's. And I mean, folks, it's friendly competition and everything, but is it really competition? Like, we both know who's gonna win. I mean, come on, Messin, he's completely dehydrated. I don't know. Can someone who's like having to live through and fight through the severe lack of hydration really win in building a better portfolio? I mean, time will tell, but folks, that dehydration ain't helping. So folks, I want to give you guys an update on what I'm doing. So I actually purchased more Ethereum. I added some Ethereum to my portfolio. If we look at my transaction history for Ethereum. I originally purchased $500, and I've been buying $100 twice as Ethereum has been having daily candles closing above that 21 EMA on the 6 hour. So, you guys are killing me. What are you guys saying here in the comments? Poof on the beat saying, I carry a gallon of water with me all day. Of course you do. It's very healthy. Watch this channel. I'm constantly stressing the importance of hydration. Folks, look, on this channel, we stay hydrated, we stay healthy, we stay, hot, and we stay profitable. And that's just what we do. That's just what we do. Hopefully we can get messing on the same road one day, right? Like, we just got to keep trying. So, what else are you guys saying? That's a lot of water you must pee. A lot. Well, regardless of what I do or don't, hydration is always very important. Messin is dehydrated like a raisin. I mean, we still we still haven't heard anything from the doctors, so I mean, it wouldn't surprise me for sure. Weekends, Frank Ann with a serious question here. Long holiday weekends, lots of manipulation incoming. 100%. There's always manipulation, and again, weekends are typically bearish. Weekends more retail trading. Less institutions, but bottom line is, it seems like we're for now holding the line, and it seems like we're gonna have daily candles fully closing above support. Again, maybe it's a bit premature. Something could happen in the next 42 minutes. For the next 42 minutes, Elon decides to tweet, Bitcoin could lose 33,300, and ETH could lose 2,100, 2,090, which would be bad. But for now, it seems like we're gonna hold it. Again, we do have 40 minutes left. So, folks, I've been purchasing more Ethereum. I've been purchasing more VeChain. And I also purchased a brand new low cap gem, which I would now want to explain to you guys after I take a moment to hydrate. So, guys, also smash that like button. If you guys like what we do, want to support us, want more of us, and if you want more people watching this live stream, definitely like and subscribe. All that good stuff. So, folks, I want to give you guys a bit of a scoop on a brand new project I not only added to my paper portfolio, but my real life portfolio. And this is a little bit of a significant move for myself, because the project I bought was the niche in crypto I've been avoiding, and this is the first project I've stumbled on that seems compelling enough to enter this niche. And the project I'm talking about is Blank. This is a very, very interesting protocol, because what Blank is it is a browser wallet very similar to MetaMask. But the interesting thing about this, the compelling thing about this project, is that it's a privacy layer wallet. The way this works is very similar to MetaMask, but when you make swaps through the protocol, it'll transfer your transaction through a pool. Thus, it's kind of like a I won't say VPN, but what's anyone use the Tor browser, where they route your signal through many different nodes? Anyways, I'm not familiar, but point being, this brings privacy to your swap. So think about it as MetaMask with a privacy layer. That is actually pretty interesting, pretty compelling. Super low market cap, 14 million. And if we look at the price action, this thing is down, I believe, let's measure it exactly. I think it's like 90% from all-time highs. If we measure from all-time highs to the present, yeah, we're down 89% from all-time highs. So, I mean, this is rock bottom. Like, again, folks, we're forming a bit of a curve, a bit of a rounded bottom. The last time I've seen this happen, and again, folks, this may not end up being the case, but I've seen this happen in similar protocols, where we form kind of this rounded bottom structure, and then later, after a period of consolidation, we pick back up. And I remember this previously very clearly with Byte Out. This is a project I got into in the early days of this channel, and I want to show you guys the price structure, just to show you of what could happen, because I've seen this chart pattern play out so many times on so many different time frames, which is this right here. We have, kind of an initial pump when the project is first introduced to the market, a sell-off because people got in early, start to take profits, and it's, these new projects are weak hands. And once we see this kind of curving structure where the lows get less and less extreme, and the highs start to get closer and closer to each other, we start to form this rounding structure. And eventually this forms a very macro rounded bottom. And then if we zoom out, once we start to form kind of this rounded bottom structure, we'll often pump to near previous all-time highs. And so, I'm not suggesting that that's guaranteed to happen with blank here, but I've seen this price structure and this pattern play on so many different charts, so many different time frames, that if the bull run is indeed to come back, and that is an if, we're forming that rounded bottom. And so it could take weeks, could take months, but if the bull run comes back, I could easily see this forming a rounded bottom and doing something similar to what BIDAO did, where again, folks, there's a long period of consolidation, and this rounded bottom is totally contingent on Bitcoin and Ethereum not crapping the bed and keeping it together. But if they can manage to do so, then folks, this thing's down 90% from all-time highs. I mean, the next major resistance, 350% pump. I mean, folks, again, I think privacy is a very, very iffy niche in crypto, because it's the first thing that regulators will go after. It's the first thing that exchanges and regulators will clamp down on. So what any privacy play in crypto, whether it's Monero or something else, is inherently risky. But with that being said, this is the first protocol that was compelling enough in terms of privacy for me to get in. And look, I think right here, $3, a clear inflection point, where here it was support, and then here it was resistance. So this, even as a swing trade, I mean, I could be looking to take profits, around $3 if and when the bull run were to come back for over 300% ROI. So, could this thing do a 3x even just to test some previous highs? Possible. If the bull market comes back, it's possible. Folks, if Bitcoin gets above 40,000, ETH gets above, just chills and moves sideways, then these projects will do well. And so, folks, in regards to Ethereum as well, for the first time in history, I think Ethereum's the most well-positioned it's ever been to do its own thing and perform well aside from Bitcoin. Because like I mentioned previously, we have EIP 1559, one of the biggest improvements in Ethereum's history, happening this month. Several improvement proposals, from making gas fees more consistent to making Ethereum deflationary. This is absolutely massive. The only bigger thing than this is scalability. But aside from Ethereum becoming scalable, this is one of the biggest, revolutionary events to Ethereum's tokenomics and its fundamentals in its history. It's now going to become harder money than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's just finite. But Ethereum, after this month, will become deflationary. This is absolutely critical, folks. And if we look at the Ethereum held on exchanges, the Ethereum held on exchanges has been decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. And folks, I'm not an economist, but can anyone guess what happens when supply is consistently decreasing over time and demand is consistently increasing over time? Again, I'm not an economist, but when we're extremely oversold and seeing bullish divergence on higher time frame indicators, guys, look, things still do look precarious. Things still do look weak, but there are signs of that hope, right? And so, again, guys, confirmation. We want to see more signs of bullish divergence and more signs of bullish confirmation before we can really, truly start to get our hopes up here. Looking at the daily seems to be looking strong on the MACD front. RSI seems a bit indecisive. Stochastic RSI, not too great. I want to see what the weekly chart for ETH is looking like. Yeah, nothing great. Let me see if I go to the 4 hour. What's Ethereum saying? 4 hours looking strong for ETH for the moment. Bullish divergence on the weighted MACD. So folks, again, for those who don't know, I like to pair weighted MACD with MACD and stochastic RSI with RSI, because the weighted MACD acts as a leading indicator for the MACD and stochastic acts as a leading indicator for the RSI. Great for kind of anticipating when we might have divergence on these indicators. So again, folks, this is looking good for the moment, right? So we do have to wait that half an hour. before Ethereum closes and Bitcoin closes. But things for now are looking good. As well, folks, we need to keep in mind the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, because this is pretty significant. Because again, this goes to the point of, can Ethereum perform and do well if Bitcoin isn't? And one of the biggest things we need to look out for to kind of get a sense of whether that can happen, whether Ethereum can perform regardless of what Bitcoin is doing, is we need to track the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing. So ETH has actually been gaining against Bitcoin the last couple of days. That's very, very good to see. We're flipping resistance into support. Very, very good to see. I do think the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing has a good chance of seeing continuation and retesting this trend line based off this peak to this peak here. So if we can break out bullishly, come back down and retest it, hold it as support, then in that case, folks, Ethereum is looking much, much stronger to see continuation, even aside of what Bitcoin's doing. So following that Ethereum Bitcoin pairing will be critical to try and gauge if Ethereum can indeed outperform Bitcoin if Bitcoin's not doing too hot. And so just to quickly wrap things up on Bitcoin, folks, as we go over a lot of the same stuff very often. If we go to the weekly here, I think we might even be able to see this a bit better. We just zoom in straight on price action for Bitcoin. Let's just get a sense. Let's just familiarize ourselves with some critical levels. So I've been saying for a while that this 33,000 zone from 33,000 to 33,500 is very, very critical, because starting here at 33,000, we have monthly candles closing there, monthly wick reacting off there. Same with the daily and the weekly. We have kind of a base of wicks and candle bodies reacting off this region. So over here, we're going to find 33,000. Let's see. There we go. So over here, over here, over here, over here, clear reactive zone at 33,000. So if we hold that, that's good to see. So if we can keep together come Monday, then I think we do have a chance of seeing a relief rally. I do think the first major short-term resistance is this 50 daily SMA, because critical bedrock of support during the parabolic impulse. We've never retested it, and the first time we do, we're likely to find rejection, just like the 200 EMA on the daily. So I do think come Monday, we're probably going to pump to maybe 36, 37,000. Likely to find rejection, that's fine, as long as we keep putting in these higher lows. But I think one of the first major things we need to look out for to start being hopeful about Bitcoin is on the off chance we break above, come back down to retest, get 1 or 2 daily candles closing above that 50 daily SMA. That will be a very, very good sign. So folks, come Monday, we're going to see if we indeed have that impulse and do indeed test that 50 daily SMA. So that's that. Let's see what you guys are saying. We need Chainlink. Yes, Chainlink is absolutely necessary. ETH 2.0 is a fairy tale at this point. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't say it's a fairy tale at this point. No. In fact, we're seeing development towards Ethereum 2.0 all the time. Again, this month, major step forward to Ethereum 2.0. Because the thing about Ethereum 2.0 is it's not any one event. Ethereum 2.0 is many events happening throughout the course of years, all making Ethereum more scalable and fixing its tokenomics. So that is what's going on with that. That's what's going on with Bitcoin. That's what's going on with Ethereum. Let's take a look at Cardano, because today we have very big news with Cardano. So Cardano has been added to the Greyscale trust. So now Greyscale owns Cardano. In fact, it makes up 4.26% of the assets under management. That's pretty significant. It's a large vote of confidence for the Cardano ecosystem. This is telling us that the institutions do see Cardano as a potential contender or as a hedge against Ethereum and the failing of Ethereum 2.0. So with Cardano, we have Goguen and smart contracts supposed to launch in August, September. So we'll see if that does indeed happen. Right now, Cardano is flirting with this 100 daily EMA, this white line here. This is absolutely critical that we start to get daily candles closing above this thing. Once we have daily candle bodies fully closing above this thing, that is when Cardano starts to look a lot more healthy. Because folks, whenever you're trying to find when an impulse to the upside will end, either on large time frames or small time frames. One thing I like to do is find a moving average with an EMA or SMA that hugs the entire length of the impulse that we test and hold as support. And as soon as we start to lose a moving average that we've held throughout the entire length of the impulse, tested it as support and held, it typically signals the end of the impulse. So the more time Cardano spends below $1.38, the more precarious Cardano's position is. And so, this is good to see because it's a vote of confidence that at the very least, the institutions consider Cardano to be a hedge against Ethereum, if not perhaps a long-term contender. But with that being said, price action is concerning. So, $1.31, clear price reactive zone. If we go to the weekly, we had 9 weeks of price reactivity off of $1.31. So we're currently between strong support here on $1.31 and strong resistance at that moving average. I mean, we're kind of flirting with it. We go below, go above, go below, go above. We want to see daily candles fully closing above, like in this one here. But we want to see more confirmation than that. Look at that wick to the bottom. It wasn't confident. We want to see like 2, 3 daily candles fully above that white line. In that case, folks, Cardano has a very good chance of seeing bullish continuation, because it also seems like we're forming this, what you call descending channel, wedge, triangle, whatever. Clear trend line from all-time highs to the next major lower high here. This looks like a bullish breakout. This looks like a pullback to retest the breakout zone. It seems like we're currently holding it. So if we get those daily candles closing above, let's say $1.40, then in that case, Cardano has a good chance of seeing bullish continuation, retesting $1.50. Now we can flip $1.50 from resistance into support. Then, oof, folks, Cardano. So, again, interesting times, guys. Because look, this is not the time to go away and not study these markets, because right now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, right now they're deciding what the next 6 months of price action is going to look like. Because if we start to lose some critical levels, the likelihood of an extended correction and consolidation phase greatly increases. But if we start to get above certain levels, then the possibility of the bull run continuing up until the end of the year, maybe September, October, and end of year, greatly increases. And so what's happening right now, what's happening this week, this month, what's happening within these ranges will decide what the next 6 months of price action will look like. So folks, this is not the time to get away from the market. This is the time to pay attention. And I see Buffo on the B. I hope you're still on the live stream. You're seeing blank. So yes, for those of you maybe tuning in or didn't hear me correctly, I am adding this brand new low cap gem to my real life portfolio in my 5K paper portfolio. We're building a portfolio from scratch, me and Messin. We're trying to have a friendly competition, see whose portfolio can outcompete each other over the long term. We're both buying and selling whenever we feel like it. And so I have added blank to my portfolio. Just to recap a little bit for the newer people. It's basically like MetaMask, except it has a privacy layer. So again, folks, if you ever want to know where to buy something, again, not financial advice, do your own research. This is a low cap. If Bitcoin does bad, this thing could fall another 50%. So just be aware that you don't blindly just follow what I do. I could be wrong. But if if you're doing your research and you like it, if you want to know where to buy something, go to CoinGecko, look at the project, scroll down. It'll tell you everywhere it's listed. And so I've been adding this thing to my real world portfolio and in my paper portfolio because the market cap is super low and the use case is incredibly high. And actually, something I'm going to do in real time here is if we go to EtherScan and if you look at the project, you can actually see the amount of people holding this project. And so if we go to the chart here, we can see that there are just 6,500 holders of this protocol. And so while I don't think I could do the same for MetaMask because it's not a protocol, wouldn't be on EtherScan, I would wager that the amount of people using MetaMask is probably in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people. And so if this thing ever gets any kind of traction, this thing, the use case for this is super clear. If I could use this on Uniswap, I would fully stop using MetaMask and use this. So the potential for users coming onto this protocol and using this protocol is extremely substantial. Now, the biggest risk I see with this thing is what if just MetaMask incorporates some privacy feature into its own wallet? Then in that case, Blank would become a lot less um, appealing, right? Because why would you switch to Blank if MetaMask just adopts that use case? But there's no signs that MetaMask ever will. I mean, why would it? I mean, they got plenty of use cases by themselves, and they're inviting, regulation and a lot more scrutiny if they start to introduce privacy features. So I do think Blank has a very interesting use case. Again, not a lot of people holding this thing. I mean, I'm gonna try and do my own research after this live stream and try and find how many people are actually have active MetaMask accounts. It's probably, if I had to guess, in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And so again, 6,500 people holding this thing. So any kind of traction, I could easily see. I mean, like if BitBoy Crypto talked about this thing, mentioned this thing once, the amount of users could double, like overnight. So again, folks, super low market cap, super clear use case. Privacy projects are always a bit risky because they're the first things that will be regulated. It's the first thing an exchange could delist due to potential regulation. So risky, but again, it's on Uniswap and PancakeSwap, and any government can't do shit about delisting it from there. So interesting stuff. Again, whenever I'm looking at newer projects, I never go in crazy heavy. But yes, I have been buying into this thing, and I still have about a third still left in stablecoins from my 5K portfolio. Again, I've been purchasing more Ethereum. I want to keep purchasing more Ethereum. And I want to add more to some of my higher caps. I want to add more to VeChain, Chainlink, PancakeSwap. I want to add more to Aave and some leaders in the NFT space. So something I've been looking at, and let's see if we can actually find a good entry on some of the stuff I've been looking at, because I've been looking to add more DeFi plays and NFT plays to my 5K portfolio. Again, guys, like I'm trying to be reasonable and save some money until Bitcoin gets above 40K, but I'm just so tempted to buy the dip on these projects because this is a long-term portfolio. I'll hold these things for years if I have to, and we're at 50-60% discounts when the bull run may very well continue, and I'm finding it very difficult to not take advantage of some of these discounts. Yeah, what are we, 64? Always down 64% from all-time highs. That's insane. So, Christian McNair, thank you, man. Thank you for the $10 super chat. You're awesome. Thank you for your support. Yeah, let's shop for entry points for sure. So, okay, so why don't I actually pull up TradingView? That way I can do a little bit more TA. And let's see, because look, I have a few things on my mind in terms of what I want to accumulate. And so let's see if I can find a good entry somewhere here. So, oh, by the way, folks, me and Messi were doing this the other day. Just in case you're curious, if you go to TradingView and if you go to launch chart here and you go to search for scripts, people will create their own indicators. And I found some super interesting ones. Like you can scroll through, again, go search for scripts and look at MACD, RSI, and people will create their own, MACDs and own RSIs, and super interesting stuff in here. I want to keep looking. One day, I think we're gonna, well, maybe I don't want to say anything. Maybe I shouldn't, but one day it would be interesting to explore making our own indicators. So let's take a look at Aave. Aave. Let's take a look. See what Aave is saying. Aave's down. Okay, so this is why this is not looking too bad to dollar cost average. It maybe is, but maybe isn't. Because here's why. We had an impulse here, right? Obviously. But now we're just coming back down to retest this previous zone here. So see the zone, 1, 2, 3, 4 days of resistance. Exactly here. Now we broke above. We're coming back down to retest that zone that was previously resistance. And we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 days of this region holding as support. So right now, we're solidifying this region right here that was once resistance into support. And again, guys, I don't want to draw too many lines here, but bottom line is Aave is for now solidifying previous resistance into support. So that's good to see. You want to buy support. You don't want to buy resistance. So let me pull out the, yeah, okay. Okay, I'm very glad I did this. So we're currently getting rejected exactly off the 20 daily EMA, this red line here. I mean, I could see how reactive, oh yeah. So let me take off some of these indicators. That way we can clearly see right off the bat why this is such a critical level to look out for. Because see here how we're finding resistance and rejection exactly off this moving average. Well, if we look at previous price action, we can see that it's not just now. Over here, exactly where we're finding resistance. Clearly a relevant zone. The market is telling us this is a relevant moving average, the 20 EMA on the daily. And then over here, it was support. Throughout our impulse, it was support. And throughout our downtrend, it's resistance. Folks, so I have really three approaches with AVE right now. I could either buy right now on support, because this was resistance and now it's support. Or I could wait for a bullish breakout and then a bullish retest of this moving average. If we could have a few days of daily candles closing above this thing, that would constitute bullish divergence and thus increase the likelihood that we could continue to rally. And so this number 2 scenario is probably the safest way to go about things, because if we buy a bullish breakouts retest, then we're buying with increased confidence that pump could continue. Or I could wait a few days, however long it takes, to see Bitcoin, Ethereum crap the bed and see if we have another leg down. So again, guys, I have three approaches right now. Buy right now on support, buy on a bullish breakout and then a bullish retest, or buy the dip later on. Ultimately, let me see what kind of percentage differences we're talking about. Say if I were to buy now on a bullish retest, yeah, I'd be buying, at 6% more. But with that 6% more, I would be buying, what I would get with that 6% buying up here is, what I'm getting with that 6% is that I'm buying the increased confidence that the uptrend will continue. So, you know what, folks? For me, I think I'm lacking in my portfolio when it comes to DeFi. So I'm gonna buy right now on support, and because this is a long-term portfolio, again, the absolute perfect entry is not the worst thing. So I'm purchasing $116.80 worth of AVE right now. So 116.80. Let me subtract that from my total. 116.80 sell, and so I've purchased some AVE. So I'm buying on support. I can stomach that, right? Like, we're having a bit of a correction. We are currently on support. The best thing to do would be to wait for that bullish breakout and bullish retest. But for now, that seems good to me. Bufo, you're saying I've never heard of AVE. You've never heard of AVE, man? AVE is like the biggest DeFi protocol out there. Like, if we go to CoinGecko, go to DeFi, I mean, Uniswap and Chainlink are above AVE, but they're really not. Chainlink's an oracle, Uniswap's an exchange. AVE is actual DeFi. AVE is a protocol that's pure lending and borrowing. So let's actually go to their protocol. Because the reason why I like AVE, and I'm going into AVE and not something else, is because AVE is one of those DeFi protocols that are likely to get institutions using it, because it's the most established DeFi protocol. It's the biggest one. It has a shit ton of value locked in their ecosystem. So if we go to DeFi Llama over here, we can see TVL over here on the right. This stands for total value locked, $9.33 billion. So the way I view total value locked is, well, that's basically telling you where the market is placing their money, where they're staking, where they're borrowing, where they're lending. So essentially, that the total value locked is telling you what the market trusts the most, what the market likes the most. The market is voting on what they think will do is good with their money, with their actual dollars. So not only is AVE, the biggest DeFi project by market cap, but also by total value locked. The market trusts this protocol. And so if the institutions are going to bring in the billions and trillions, they're going to go to the most trusted source. They don't want some random iron finance made yesterday by some God knows who. No, they want something established. and Aave is that established play. So yeah, typically speaking, the higher the market cap, the lower the ROI. But I mean, this thing's down like what's again 60 some odd, 65% from all-time highs. Fuck, bro. Come on, guys, come on. So I wanted to show you the actual platform, but it just seems to be loading forever. But Aave, just to summarize, it's just a borrowing and lending platform. So that's Aave. So if you're trying to go for like a super solid, super safe, and I even hesitated to describe it as super safe because I don't want to like do it any kind of disservice. I would go with Aave in terms of DeFi because Aave is just like, it's a monster. Same with Compound, but the reason why I'm going with Aave over Compound is because Aave actually provides more services. I mean, they have a Polygon bridge that's been killing it, getting tons of users. They have more staking and more borrowing and lending with more cryptocurrencies, more so than Compound. So because Aave has more cryptos they provide services for, that's why I'm going with Aave over Compound. Because Compound is another major DeFi play that's comparable to what Aave is doing. We see Compound over here with $6.56 billion locked in its ecosystem. And also, for the people, I like risk, I'm a degenerate. All right, man, I was going to make a point that's just for you, Buffo. For the people who are a little bit more degen, I also purchased Curve. Curve is another DeFi play, borrowing and lending for stable coins, yield farming, I believe. So the reason why I added Curve to my portfolio as well is because Curve has a much lower market cap than Aave, but is almost exactly has the same amount of value locked in its ecosystem. So whenever you're looking at DeFi, it's always interesting to know how much value locked in its ecosystem and what the market cap, because the way I interpret that ratio is the more value in its ecosystem, but the lower the market cap, the more potentially undervalued that project is. Because the total value locked in the ecosystem is basically the market telling you, I like this, I trust this, I'm putting my money in this. And so if you see Curve has basically the same total value locked in its ecosystem as Aave, but a much lower market cap. Again, Aave is like what, number 20, 30 in market cap? 30 in market cap, $3 billion market cap. Let's look up Curve. Curve is 100 in terms of market cap and 500 million. I mean, Curve is potentially, arguably, undervalued compared to Aave. So that's why I added both Curve and Aave to my portfolio. And yeah, I want to keep the door open for more potential interesting DeFi plays. So, PancakeSwap, I also have a decent amount of PancakeSwap in my paper portfolio. So PancakeSwap does offer, liquidity providing, staking. PancakeSwap's killing it. And also, I want to look to see if I can actually buy more PancakeSwap on a perhaps good entry, because you can stake PancakeSwap and earn over 100% APY. So even if this thing crashes significantly, that 100% APY can really cushion the blow if the market has a pullback. So, oh, Messin's calling me right now. Should I answer his call, folks? I'm gonna answer his call. Messin's calling me right now. All right, we'll see. Let me answer his call. Let's see what he's saying. Yo, you're live. I'm live right now, and you're on speaker.
Stop lying to the people, man. I heard you talking about water and you being all hydrated and shit, man. Watch your mouth, all right? I'm listening.
What are you talking about? What?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just hear a lot of shit talking here on the live.
We've been saying nothing but truth.
Oh, okay. All right, I see how it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
by the way, like, are you okay? Like, are you staying hydrated? Like, are you?
I'm always hydrated. I taught you how to be hydrated.
Well, man, it's good to hear. A lot of us were like dehydrated. We were concerned that you were dehydrated and not, keeping up on your hydration. So it's glad to hear, man. It's glad to hear.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, man, just get back to
Are you gonna hop on a live stream one of these days?
Whatever bubble you're living in right now.
Okay, man. All right, I'll talk to you after the live stream. All right.
Have a good day, brother.
Easy. All right, so that was Messin. We can clearly tell he was either drunk or dehydrated, something like that. Again, guys, I'm sure you guys all know we're kidding around, but for those maybe newer people, we are kidding. So Glad to glad to hear he's doing good. I'm very glad to hear he's doing good as well. Again, I'm very concerned for that guy. He's walks around dehydrated all the time, and so I'm always having to check up on him. I'm always having to like send him like water bottles, Uber Eats, just like anything to get this guy to drink water. It's just constantly a struggle. So, folks, Pancake Swap. Let's not let him distract us. It's down 70% from all-time highs, and so I find this very interesting for multiple reasons. So PancakeSwap is currently above this volume. Good to see. We're currently above this sideways price action. We're not above the peaks, which is concerning, but we're above the bulk of this sideways price action. And we can see that anytime we've tried to drop below kind of $12, immediately gets bought back up. $12 immediately gets bought back up. And isn't it curious how that $12 range that gets bought back up just so happens to coincide with this cluster of sideways price action and that volume? It's almost like technical analysis gives you clues to what could happen moving forward. So the thing with PancakeSwap is the same thing with Aave, which is we're finding rejection off our 20 daily EMA. You can see how over here constantly held as support all throughout our uptrend. Again, folks, I've said this with Cardano, I've said this with Bitcoin, and I'm saying it with PancakeSwap. Whenever you're trying to figure out when an uptrend will end, find a moving average that holds as support throughout the entire length of the impulse, that we come down and test and hold as support. And if we do it more than once, great. And as soon as we start to get daily candles close below it, it's typically the end of the impulse. And just how I said it was the case with Bitcoin, case with Cardano, we saw how it happened with PancakeSwap here. The 20 daily EMA, here support, here support, here support, here support, here support. As soon as we broke down, came back up to retest it, got rejected, it was the beginning of the massive sell-off. Folks, I don't say this just to waste my breath. I say this because it's significant. It's uncanny how simple this one factor works so well. It works all the time, folks. It's so simple, it's so easy, and it works incredibly well. Find a moving average that hugs the entire impulse that we test and hold as support. And again, as soon as we lost it, came back up to retest it, got rejected. How much did we fall after that first daily candle finding rejection? PancakeSwap fell 72% after that correction, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Hold on. Let's see here. So from all-time highs to here, 78%. Okay, yeah. Okay, that does make sense. All right, so folks, you see the power of these moving averages with Bitcoin. If we go back to Bitcoin here, the 50 daily SMA held as support all throughout the uptrend, even back in 2017. You see here, we broke down from it, came back up to retest it, got rejected, beginning of the sell-off. And that's why we've been expressing that we're super concerned about Cardano. Because for Cardano, the 100 daily EMA, this white line, constantly held as support. Yeah, we had wicks go below it, but we never had daily candles go below it throughout the impulse. Over here, the beginning of the parabolic rally, we came back down to retest it as support. This was the floor of one of the first major corrections during the bull run. We can see that later on continued to hold it as support. Now we're finally getting daily candles close below it. So if Cardano continues to find a rejection off it, very concerning. So Infinity14 with the $2 super chat. Thank you for your support. Thoughts about Chainlink? Let's take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink is very interesting because Chainlink is forming a very massive macro descending triangle, and it will break out very soon here. Very soon. I think come Monday. Again, folks, come Monday, I think the market's on a bit of a pause until Monday because Mondays are typically bad. Whales and institutions don't typically trade as much on weekends. So come Monday, come the beginning of the week, if we see Bitcoin, do well, then I think that could be the tipping point that leads these alts to break out. Because Chainlink is in a very similar position as many altcoins, where we're deciding the next major move. And so if Bitcoin come Monday, Tuesday does well, I think that could be the tipping point that helps Chainlink to break out bullishly. So for me, it's quite clear what I think Nate Chainlink needs to do to start looking bullish. Over here, again, folks, we need to identify a clear price reactive zone. So here, this will support, here's support, here's support. And isn't it funny that now that we've broken down, that same area that was previously acting as support is now acting as resistance? And we have a confluence of reasons to think that this region is important due to the fact that we have this 618 Fibonacci retracement from the macro bottom, the all-time high, right there as well. So we have multiple reasons to think that this region right here at $20 psychological level, to think that this is an inflection point, price reactive. So folks, it's quite clear. If Chainlink breaks out bullishly, comes back down to retest $20 and holds it as support, solidifies it as support, if we get one or two daily candles closing above $20, in that case, folks, upside for Chainlink is extremely substantial because we are extremely oversold. We've had a significant, we're down 65% from all-time highs without a significant true relief rally quite just yet. So if we see Chainlink getting one or two daily candles closing above $20, that's a sign that Chainlink can see further bullish continuation. So that's what I think about Chainlink. So Andrew Shin is saying, what is better strategy? Buy large caps on discount or small caps on massive discounts? Well, Andrew, it's a very good question, and ultimately it boils down to your personal situation. Because the way you invest $1,000 in $1 million in $1 billion is very different, and the way I would invest $1,000 and the way you would invest $1,000 is very different because everyone is trying to achieve something different. Everyone's situation is different. I have a high risk tolerance and I'm willing to hold for years. So therefore, I find it a lot more easy to buy the dip on stuff, but I don't know your situation. And so because I don't know your particular situation, I can't gear a strategy tailored to your situation. But what I would say is that right now, folks, given that we still have not had bullish confirmation, we still haven't broken the macro bearish price structure. Because don't get me wrong, folks, there's reasons to be hopeful, but Bitcoin is still bearish. We're still putting in macro lower highs and lower lows. We still have not gotten above these large time frame moving averages that we need to. So until we do that, Bitcoin is still bearish and it's still weak. So given that the market is still deciding whether the rest of the year is going to be bullish or bearish, I think it makes a lot more sense, and a safer thing to do is to focus on quality, focus on high caps. Because what if Elon, floods the market right at the worst point, and we drop below 30K and we drop to 20,000, and we enter a several-year-long correction consolidation phase, a bear market, a true bear market? Well, in that case, you'd want to be holding quality. In that case, you'd want to be holding Bitcoin or Ethereum over Dogecoin or some random meme coin that's crap. So, given that the market still has not proven itself to be bullish and that it could go either way, I think focusing on quality, focusing on large caps is probably the much safer thing to do, because if we do indeed have another leg down, the larger cap coins will fall down less than the smaller caps, and they have more long-term staying potential. Because look, I just bought Blank. I find Blank intriguing. I like the idea a lot. But if MetaMask incorporates some privacy features, Blank might not ever get adopted. And so I'm taking a risk. This thing's new. It's unproven. I like the idea. I see the use case. So I'm taking a shot on it. But right now, I don't know if Blank's going to be here over the next 5 years. I'm making a bet that I think it has a fighting chance of doing so. But I would feel much more confident that Ethereum could stay here over the next 5 years. So given that the market's very precarious, I do think it's more sensible and more safe to lean towards quality and lean towards those high caps, because they will be here the next bull run and they'll fall less than the super small caps if we do enter a true bear market. So that is my answer to that. So yeah, folks. Ooh, we had the daily candles close, folks. We had daily candles close. Congratulations. We had daily candles closing above the 100 EMA. Good to see. Now, the true test of Cardano will be if we can get a daily candle body fully closing above this white line. Because so far we've had this in and out bullshit. So far we've been good. We've been testing the waters. Completely indecisive. We've been in, we've been out. Cardano needs to make a goddamn decision. We got to get daily candles fully closing above that moving average. And only in that case would the likelihood of Cardano continuing to recover vastly increase. But we need to see those daily candles, one or two, fully closing above it. And only in that case can we get more confident. Good sign for now. We need continuation. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. How did Bitcoin close? So Bitcoin closed decently. This is good. So we so far have maintained previously established support. And that's what you want to see if you're a bull. See here, previously established, super clear price reactive zone, support, support, support. We're below it, resistance. Above it, support. So we're currently respecting and maintaining previously established support. Good sign. We still got to get through the weekend. We still got to wait for Monday, Tuesday. But as long as we continue to get daily candles closing above 33,000, 33,500, that's a good sign. Let's take a look at Ethereum. What's Ethereum saying here? Ethereum holding that 21 EMA on the 6 hour. Super good to see. Having daily candles closing above the 200 EMA on the daily, 200 SMA on the daily. Good to see. This is good. We wicked down below the 21 EMA on the 6 hour, or green line, but we had the daily candle close above it. So now, if we have another daily candle today, fully closing and not wicking too much below that green line, further bullish continuation. And so given that we did have that daily candle, I think Ethereum has a fighting chance of tackling one of our next major levels. I believe is this blue line here. This is the 200 EMA on the 10 hour for Ethereum. And folks, these EMAs I'm referring to, they're not completely arbitrary. They're because I think they're extremely historically price reactive. It's not really what I think. It's been proven to be extremely price reactive. So during Ethereum's parabolic rally, during the major sell-offs, the major corrections, where did Ethereum stop dumping? Where did it find its support? Where did the market say this was an extremely relevant level, an inflection point where we did not fall further? This blue line, 200 EMA on the 10 hour. Here's support. Here's support. During some of Ethereum's most tumultuous times, during its most major sell-offs, this held the line. It held as support. And so once we broke below it, see here how we found rejection, and then we had a further sell-off, clearly predefined reactive level. And so if we continue to hold here, then we're going to test this thing at 2400. And if we can flip 2400 from resistance into support, get one or two or three daily candles fully closing above 2400, then folks, the worst may be behind us. Again, everything's contingent on Bitcoin. And Ethereum's actually looking a lot more healthy than Bitcoin because Ethereum is above its 200 daily SMA and EMA, and Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin is getting rejected off its 200 daily SMA and EMA. So not only does Ethereum outperform Bitcoin, but during the corrections it looks healthier. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I don't want to be too much of a Bitcoin hater, but there's just so many reasons to like Ethereum so much more than Bitcoin, in my opinion. But we'll see. So how was today's close for Cardano? Let's take a look. I'm very glad you brought that up. Thank you for reminding me. We closed above. But again, the thing about Cardano, which I don't like, is that we're super wishy-washy with this 100-day EMA. Like, we're wicking below it. Some of the candle bodies closing above it, but we don't want that. We want to see daily candles fully closing above. So here with Ethereum, daily candle fully closing above that green line, 21 EMA in the 6 hour. Good to see. That's what we're not seeing with Cardano, and that's what we got to see. We got to see something more like this. A daily candle fully closing above this thing. In that case, we'd be a little bit more confident that we could retest $150. If we flip a $150, oof, folks, we're flying. We're flying. So that is that 34K. Here we come again, folks. I think if Bitcoin is gonna pump, then I think Monday, Tuesday is when it has the best chance of seeing bullish continuation. Now the 4 hour for Bitcoin does look good. I think the 4 hours is a happy medium between ultra low time frames and higher time frames. MACD curving up, weighted MACD on the way up, RSI bullish divergence on the way up. This is what I mean with divergence on the RSI on the 4 hour. We're right here. Resistance we broke above. Good to see. So 4 hour for Bitcoin is looking healthy. Let's go to the 1 hour. 1 hour even healthy. I mean, we're probably 1 hour is strong. So 1 hour is strong. 4 hours strong. Let's take a look at the 12. 12 hour, not a super strong confluence, but the stochastic RSI seemingly is wanting to have a bullish crossover, so that's good to see. So Yeah, but the daily's bearish. Look at that. MACD down, weighted MACD bearish crossover. The gas car side overbought bearish crossover. So the daily's bearish. Yeah. But I think what we really need to see is this weekly MACD continue to have the histogram tick up. Because if we look at the previous times we did this, every time the MACD was oversold and the histogram started to tick back up, it was a local bottom. Like, here, looking at the weekly, this was here. So this price action here coincided with the 2020 March crash. And as soon as that weekly histogram started to tick back up, the recovery began. Even the bottom of the goddamn bear market, as we can see here. Oh no, sorry, that's not the bottom of the bear market. Forgive me, sorry. But look, here, yeah, back in 2019, histogram. Let me highlight this a bit better. Histogram starts to move up on the weekly MACD. Price moves up. So see here, histogram moves up, price moves up. So it's good to see, even in the true bottom of the previous bear cycle, MACD on the weekly, histogram starts to curve up here. Histogram's curving up, and then that's the bottom of the goddamn bear market. So we can clearly see how bottom of the bear market, over here, even the bottom of the 2020 March crash, every time the weekly MACD was extremely oversold and the histogram started to tick up, every time it's happened recently, it was a local bottom. So again, we need to see continuation. Also, that stochastic RSI, which again is great for calling shifts in trends, is all the way over to the oversold region. Just seems ready to shoot up. And also, by the way, one indicator that I haven't really mentioned, which I should mention a lot more often, but I think it's going to be super critical for timing when Bitcoin's ready to recover, is this Bitcoin hash ribbon indicator. This essentially measures miner capitulation. And every time we've entered this capitulation zone with miners, and has to do with hash rate, we've always had a blue buy signal. And every time we had one, price came up afterwards. Not immediately, but afterwards it did pick up. Like here, blue buy signal, price picks up. Over here, blue buy signal, price picks up. Over here, blue buy signal, price picks up. Every single time, blue buy signal, price picks up. You guys can do this yourself. Hash ribbons on TradingView, look it up. And so right now we have that capitulation zone, and so right now we're just waiting for that blue buy signal. If we get that, that should be a little bit of bullish confirmation. And if we get that, you best believe I'm aping in. I'm spending that last third that I got sitting on the sidelines. But again, no one thinks the end all be all. But again, historically speaking, very reactive indicator as well. One of the things that I think is really, really driving down Bitcoin right now, and thus suppressing the whole market, is this China situation in the hash rate and miners having to sell. Because previously, like a couple months ago, China had roughly 60% of Bitcoin's mining power, and that all of a sudden is getting shut down all at once. And so once we saw China begin to clamp down, that's when we first saw hash rate begin to significantly drop and price begin to significantly drop. So once these miners start to get set up in other countries and the hash rate picks back up, that should be bullish confirmation for Bitcoin. So any significant change in this trend, once we start getting higher highs and higher lows in the hash rate, that should act as at least one layer of bullish confirmation. As well, we gotta keep an eye out for the stock market, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, because right now they're pumping, and a healthy stock market is good. And also, the dollar is falling and finding rejection, which is good. But my issue with the stock market is that it's super, super overextended. It's very, very overextended. But again, folks, markets can act irrationally for a very, very, very long time. So a healthy stock market and a dollar going down is good for Bitcoin. So that's why I'm leaning, given that we had a daily candle closing on support, that come Monday, Tuesday, Bitcoin has a very good chance of recovering. So, folks, I see Jared over here with the very kind words saying thank you for all the Rockstar info, brother. Yeah, man, no, appreciate it. You guys are the best. If you guys like us, want to support us, like and subscribe. It's the easiest way of doing it, folks. Our numbers on the channel have been going down, and it's because, retail is leaving the market, and even search results for crypto are, like, dying down if you look at, like, the Google Trends. But, folks, don't leave. Right now is not the time to leave crypto. Right now is the time to pay more attention than you ever have had in your life. Because if we do indeed enter a true several year long bear market, that's where the most opportunity is. And if this is indeed the bottom, then the next couple of weeks buying opportunities could be the best buying opportunities of a lifetime. So whatever way, whether we're entering an extended bear market or this is the bottom, this is the most significant time to be buying, because these could be some of the greatest buy the dip opportunities of a lifetime if we enter a bear market or if this is the bottom. Either way, the opportunities in the space right now are some of the greatest they've ever been. This is the time to pay the most attention, not the least. So that's that. Someone's saying, let's take a look at Matic Polygon. Let's definitely take a look, because Matic Polygon is going to be needed moving forward, even after Ethereum scalability being introduced. Because even Vitalik Buterin has said that after Ethereum 2.0 is fully rolled out, that second layer scaling solution, such as Matic Polygon, will still be needed. So also Dylan saying Discord strong, 100% Discord strong. Folks, become a Discord member. Link for that is down in the description below. Also, I created a new section in our Discord. It's called live stream questions. So if you guys want, you guys can join our Discord and submit questions in that channel. And before the live streams, we can take a look at that and have answers prepared during the live stream. So if you guys want to, if you guys have a question you guys will want us to answer in advance, go join our Discord, the live stream question channel section. Go submit a question there. We'll check that out periodically before the live streams. So if you guys want us to answer a question coming into the live stream beforehand, if you guys want us to check something out beforehand, definitely submit your questions there. So Alex P is saying, totally agree, Brandon. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity, because if this is a bottom, then buying the dip now is a giant opportunity. Or if we're entering a bear market, the bear market is where the most money is made. Because yeah, you can make a 10x in a bull market, but you can make 100x in a bear market. So folks, like, again, I want to show you the power of buying early and buying in a quote-unquote bear market, or at least before a bull market. I bought Matic Polygon, I think, I'm trying to see if I can remember this best, but I think over here, like in these regions, is where I was buying Matic. I was buying this thing, I think my average entry for Matic Polygon is just under 2 cents, 1.9 cents. So folks, like, this is the power of being early and buying in a bear market, because this is Matic Polygon was my first ever 100x, and I remember talking about this thing, and I remember making videos saying, folks, I mean, we've been moving sideways in this range forever, and as soon as we break above this trend line, we're likely to shoot up. And I was trying to warn people, and folks, this is why you gotta like and subscribe. Yeah, me and Messi, we like to be silly, we like to brag in a sarcastic way, but I mean, at the end of the day, we've been talking about great projects at super undervalued prices. So imagine if you've been following the channel back in September, October, August. I mean, I was talking about this Matic Polygon at 3 cents, 2 cents. I was talking about this breakout here at like 3.5 cents. Imagine if you'd been following the channel then. This is why you got to like and subscribe, because you could have gotten at 3 cents, 4 cents, and Matic's Polygon's at $1 right now. So that's why the opportunity is crazy strong in a bear market, where you don't want to leave in a bear market. But look, enough of that. I got my point across. Let's talk about Matic Polygon. I think it's pretty clear what we're doing right now. We're not only respecting a previously established price reactive zone here, sideways price action here. We took a pause with our pumpage, moved sideways, and then later during one of our flash crashes, that's where we found support. Same over here. Clearly established price reactive zone. Also, just so happens to coincide with the 618 Fibonacci retracement. So now we have a confluence of reasons to think that this is a price reactive important zone. And now we have further confirmation, because price action is respecting this previously established support zone right now in the short term, and even more confirmation out the ass, because we have the 100 daily EMA right here acting as support. So we have price action, we have a fib level, macro fib level, we have the 100 daily EMA. 3 super relevant reasons to think that this is a critical zone, and actually 4, because the $1 is right there is a nice psychological level. 4 super solid reasons to think that $1 and just above $1.05, so from about $1 to about $1.05, $1.06, super critical inflection point due to all the reasons I just mentioned. So I think it's quite clear. If Matic Polygon continues to have daily candles closing above this region, that's good. If we have a daily candle start to close below $1.02, then the downside potential is substantial. Then we're falling to 80 cents. And if we lose 80 cents, folks, we're falling to 45 cents. And if we lose 45 cents, I mean, the downside potential is substantial. So $1 has got to hold for now, because if we start to lose $1, not only is that bearish confirmation, but it far increases the likelihood that we could continue to trend further down. So $1 to $1.05, $1.06, clearly super obvious inflection point due to all these indicators all converging in one place, giving us a confluence of reasons to think that this is an inflection point. And therefore, if we want to be bullish, we want to maintain this. So we're holding $1.05, good sign. And given that we're actually holding support for the moment, this wouldn't be the worst spot to dollar cost average. It actually wouldn't be. Now, there's some concerning reasons the dollar cost average in right now, because we are forming this wedge, but maybe this wedge is not the most valid here, because I mean, I could see 2 or 3 other patterns we're forming aside from this wedge. I mean, we're forming a channel here. So, I mean, when you can draw other patterns super clearly, super easily, and you can see them being valid, it kind of invalidates all the patterns, or maybe there's something else you got to consider, because if you can obviously see kind of different patterns that mean different things, then maybe the patterns that you've drawn are incorrect, and maybe there's something else you got to look at. So putting these patterns aside, because I don't see one pattern clearly being dominant, because the reason why that would be significant is because if this is indeed a valid wedge, then the downside potential is quite more substantial. I mean, we could fall to the base of our wedge, which we've been doing, because if this is more of a descending triangle, which it kind of looks like it is, this is a descending triangle here, so wedge line, support line, resistance, so this is resistance to support, then we're just testing the lower extremities of our descending triangle. And so we could, you know, go do something like this. Up here, get rejected, breakout, retest. In that case, we have plenty of more upside potential. So we'll see. We'll see what plays out. But bottom line is we're actually sitting on support right now. And so even as a swing trade, I might even, as a swing trade, long Matic right now. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to do this, but just kind of thinking out loud here. I could even see longing here and maybe taking profits. I mean, there's so many different ways you can take profits, but probably up here at about $1.35, $1.30. We have volume building up there. We have fib level there, price reactive zone there. So that's one approach. I mean, the risk to reward ratio is not great. You're basically risking 23% to you're risking 12% to make 23%, which is palpable. And the reason why I'd place a stop loss here, 95 cents, is due to volume. Volume often acts as a cushion, because as we can see, we can wick down below support, but volume often acts as that bedrock. So yeah, there's, again, I'm just thinking aloud, and there's different ways to approach a swing trade. One like ultra conservative way to approach this is just putting like your stop loss kind of below this wick here. That could make things a little bit more palpable. So you're risking 8.5% to make 23%. That's not the worst swing trade. So I like buying on support. You don't buy resistance, you buy support. And given that we're holding support, it's strong support and it's being held as support, not the worst place to DCA. But if we lose $1, 80 cents, then 45 cents are very likely. So that's my long-winded answer for Matic Polygon. And actually, I'm glad you brought this up, because the reason why I went on that long-winded rant is because I'm trying to make a decision as to whether I want to add more Matic Polygon to my portfolio right now, my paper portfolio. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more right now. I think I'm going to add, yeah. I think I'll add more right now. So I'll add $55 to my paper portfolio of Matic Polygon, given that we're on support right now. And so let me subtract this from my total. $55. There we go. Yeah, so I want to, again, I want to leave some stable coins for further on in the future, but we're on support, so I feel okay. And look, Matic Polygon, I think it was going to be here for the next 5 years, so even if we enter a true bear market, not the worst. So that is that, folks. Just to kind of start to summarize here and wrap up. All right, we still have to get through a weekend. If come Monday, Tuesday, Bitcoin's holding above 33,000, then we have a good chance of testing this 50 daily estimate. In my opinion, we're probably going to find rejection the first time, just how we found rejection off a 200 daily EMA first time we're kind of truly retesting it. I mean, here we tested it, but I don't really consider that a true retest. So just how the first time we retested this got rejected, likely to do the same off the 50 daily SMA. So come next week, next couple weeks, this is what I think is going to happen. Come back up to retest this thing, probably find rejection, hopefully put it in a higher low, and if we do that, the second attempt, we have a good chance of breaking out bullishly. So ultimately, we want to see Bitcoin holding above 40K, 41K. At that point, I think the bull market's a go. We want to see this this indicator flash a buy signal. We also want to see on the daily RSI bullish divergence above this resistance trend line on the daily RSI. So if Bitcoin can get above 40,000, 41,000, get a buy signal on the hash driven indicator, get bullish divergence above this daily RSI, flip the 200 daily EMA from resistance into support, same with the 50 daily SMA. So this indicator, so 50 daily SMA, 200 daily EMA, that bullish divergence on the RSI, and getting above 40,000, 41,000, holding above that. In that case, I think the bull run's a go, folks. But ultimately, I think the true final test of a bull market is a bullish breakout above this green resistance trend line. And let me change this into red just so it makes a little bit more sense. And I'll tell you, this is not just like an arbitrary resistance point I'm selecting. I'll show you why it's probably going to be very significant. So I think the last true test of the bull run is a bullish breakout and a bullish retest of this trend line. In that case, I think the bull run can continue happily. And the reason why I think that's significant is if we look at the previous cycle, we formed kind of this trend line from all-time highs to the next kind of lower high here. And so different charts kind of line this up differently. Yeah, it's probably not the best chart. Let's see if I can go to Coinbase, because I want to really hammer home this point super clearly, that this trend line, let me go back to 27. Okay, here it is. Yeah, so on Coinbase it's more clear. So all-time high, next lower high, came back up to retest it, bearish confirmation, bear trend continues. Even the beginning of the 2017-2018 bear market, got trend line from all-time high, next lower high, we came back up to retest it here, got rejected, bear market continues. So twice we see how whenever we have these significant rallies and have a trend line from all-time highs, next lower high, and get rejected off it, it acts as bearish confirmation, and the downtrend continued twice on high time frames. So folks, we're going to do a similar thing with Bitcoin. We're going to retest at some point, I believe, this trend line here. And I think this is the final boss. Like, we're playing a video game, right? And this is kind of the last boss. Now, all these EMAs, all these price levels, they're kind of like beginner bosses, but this trend line is the final boss that we need to get above. So if we can beat the final boss, get on top of them, then we can continue. That's that. Not financial advice. Folks, ultimately, like and subscribe. We're going to be weekends. We typically take a bit more time off, so we might not stream as much or upload as much on the weekends, but anytime anything significant happens, we're definitely going to be talking about it. So folks, like and subscribe, become a Patreon member. Tons of value in there. I mean, we're constantly shilling our Patreon because there's constantly shit tons of value in there. And so yeah, check that out, folks. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, take care.